G'day, I'm Stuart from Australian Clutch. Today I'm going to introduce a new kit that we've got for the R34 GTR Skyline. This 230mm twin plate clutch that we've got is available in 3 different friction materials. What I've got here is an organic one, which is more suitable for street. We've also got a ceramic one, which is good for up to 1,000 horsepower, maybe a bit of aggressive street driving and a lot of track driving. And then we've also got a carbon version, which would offer for as a premium product for over 1,000 horsepower. The kit comes with the concentric slave cylinder and billet adapter to mount to the transmission. We also supply braided lines to go straight from the slave cylinder right up to the master cylinder, new flywheel bolts, a steel lining tool and a new pilot bearing. What we're going to do is show you how to fit this kit up to a vehicle now and show you the basics on how to disassemble and reassemble an R34 GTR. Remove the trim from around the shifter and remove the shifter from the transmission. Undo the Attesa hydraulic line from the transfer case and allow it to drain. Remove the cross brace behind the steering rack. Undo the exhaust and the front pipes and remove them from the vehicle. On the driver's side, undo the front drive shaft and unbolt the slave cylinder. Undo and separate the tail shaft flange. Remove the rubber grommet from the bell housing. Use a flat blade screwdriver at the same time as pushing the clutch fork towards the rear of the vehicle to unclip the release bearing. With the bell housing bolts removed, carefully slide the transmission off the engine. Remove the old clutch and flywheel. Undo the old clutch line, including all the brackets, all the way up to the master cylinder. Inside the bell housing, remove the clutch fork, release bearing, nose cone and fork pivot. These are not required for the conversion. Clean the mounting surface on the front of the bell housing. Bolt up the new release bearing adapter, ensuring the orientation is such that one of the ports on the slave cylinder will be at top dead center. Lubricate the spline on the transmission. Install the bleeder line in the top port of the concentric slave cylinder. Mount the new braided clutch line to the master cylinder, ensuring that the 10x1mm thread is used into the master cylinder. Clean the back of the crank with emery paper to ensure the back of the crank and motor are clean of oil and debris. Remove the old pilot bush and lightly tap the new one in. Clean all the surfaces of the new flywheel using brake cleaner and a clean rag. Use the new flywheel bolts and thread lock and torque up to 128 Newton meters. Install the bottom friction disc with the hub facing away from the engine. Install the intermediate plate and top friction disc in the same orientation. Install the main pressure plate casting with the fulcrum ring facing outward. Mount the alloy cover onto the adapter ring and slowly tighten the M6 bolts in a circular motion, half a turn at a time. Torque these M6 bolts up to 18 Newton meters. Move the transmission into place and poke the clutch line through the breather boot in the top of the bell housing. Pop the slave into the bell housing with the bleeder line poking out the fork boot and connect the main clutch line. Before mounting the slave on the adapter, open the bleeder nipple and refill the reservoir with fluid, allowing the fluid to slowly gravity bleed. Whilst the fluid is gravity bleeding, shake the slave and rotate it to ensure all the air has bled out. With someone in the vehicle and someone holding the slave, slowly depress the clutch pedal, forcing fluid out the open bleeder port. When confident that the system is air-free, mount the slave onto the adapter and ensure that everything is tight. Carefully guide the transmission up through the clutch and onto the back of the motor. With the transmission mounted on the back of the engine, check the operation of the clutch. To do this, get someone in the vehicle to pop the transmission into gear and put their foot on the clutch pedal. Underneath the vehicle, check that you can rotate the tail shaft freely. Also check where the engagement point is. On this particular clutch, the pedal feel will be very light. Reassemble the remaining components on the vehicle and fix the bleeder line to the old slave mount using a zip tie. Refill the Attesa reservoir in the boot of the vehicle with Nissan Attesa fluid. Remove the driver's kick panel to reveal the fuse box. Unplug the Attesa plug with the thick yellow wire in it. This will cause the pump to run and allow the fluid to flow through. Hook up a bleeder hose to the bleeder nipple on the back of the transfer case. Turn the ignition on and you'll hear the pump run. Crack the bleeder nipple and allow the fluid to flow out. When the fluid stops, close the bleeder nipple off. Repeat the process until no more air comes out of the bleeder nipple. Test drive the vehicle and re-bleed the clutch if necessary.